Nancy Young, and welcome to another episode of Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, a program highlighting the positive voices within our local communities and how they're impacting and uplifting our world, one person at a time. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Today, we'll be highlighting your voice through that of financial literacy. My guest today is from San Jose, California. His name is James Haynes. At this time, let's welcome Mr. James Haynes. Well, hello. Today, welcome James Haynes.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me here today.
Well, I'm glad that you've joined me today, and so we're going to be talking about financial literacy. So you told me earlier that financial literacy is a mission for you.
hmm
So kind of walk me through, how did that become your mission?
Well, in that, financial literacy is something that, when most people go to school to learn, they always get a chance to learn how to take care of your affairs in order. We always say, oh, everything is in order. Oh, I'm cool. I'm great. But do we really do know our financial structure? Do we really do know how much we're bringing in, how much we're taking out, and how well protected we are? So that was a mission to me to make sure we have protection and are able to stand up against any type of situation that we have. How strong are you? That lion, you're stable. So it's been a mission to go out and have like no family left behind. And I've been working with a company with that, doing financial services, and it's been a wonderful thing in helping the amount of people and families, and especially in serious times and of uncertainty right now.
Okay, so for planning, do you find that maybe going back to the older generation, as far as we're good, what kind of is that stemmed from? Is that just from, just, I don't know, a place of where?
Well, it always, I think, growing up, I've always heard to say that either your plan fail or you fail to plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at this stage where definitely me being a baby boomer, it's a significant amount of inheritance that the baby boomers are giving out right now. So in the last passing, we got about 9 more years left. It's almost something like another $43 trillion worth of retirement. And part of that retirement is legacy, and part of that financial literacy is understanding what to do with what you do. It's always told a story that you have the Rothschilds and you have the Rockefellers,
Mm-hmm.
and one family was left a lot of money, and then both of them actually, but years later, that one family didn't have any money, and another years, the other one have it. So financial literacy is something that we need to know how to, save our money, and make sure we're spending it in the right areas, not destructive with it. So long as we know all the vehicles out there for you,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of vehicles out there for you, and you'll be able to survive no matter which situation the world is going through.
Okay, so looking at this financial literacy, how would you educate someone that's a baby boomer that's coming up on the last seasons of their life versus a young person like a millennial that's just now really getting into the workforce?
Baby boomers, we are going through a stage is that, okay, all right, we need to retire now. How do we have enough money to stay in retirement? And in that case, that when we become to another point in our life that we're not able to do for ourselves, do we have responsible family that are able to take care of us in that need? Someone who had a large inheritance, or like they say, the rich uncle or the parents,
Mm-hmm.
who have the home. And so we don't want to be in a situation where you don't know how to handle your parents' money or your grandparents' money, let alone handle your money. So the stage of what we say the baby boomer, like myself, we're in the retirement stage, and we're doing this transferring of money to make sure we have enough income for our lifetime because we're living longer. you
Yeah.
know uh, Baby, well, the millennium and all these different generations that they have is sort of I'm a live for today, and it's good to say you can do that. You're going to live for the day. You're going to always want to live for tomorrow too. So in doing that, you have to prepare. So knowing exactly how to lay your plan out in an early age gets you set up perfectly for your older age.
Okay, so I'm just thinking that maybe the baby boomers, which is my mom's generation as well, I think that maybe some of those generations are more secretive in what they had, as far as
Mhm.
not really being open to share with
Mhm.
their children, and
Mhm.
then maybe they go off the scene before they expect to, and then
Mhm.
things are just left.
Mhm.
But the mentality, do you find that the mentality is different, like even in the next, like I'm generation X, I believe I'm X, right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
then because then it's my parent, but at the same time I have grown children, so
Mhm.
I'm in that middle sandwich kind of generation as well. So as far as planning, how should people be planning, like even like my age, because some people my age are actually retiring, not
Mhm.
me, but
Mhm.
others I know
Right.
are
Right.
retiring.
Well, that's a great question, and we have a lot of different options that are out to us. When you first think of it, it's like who can I trust? I mean, I have four kids, and I say, well, I need for my oldest son to do this, and the next one to do this, because you have to trust them. It's not so much secrecy. It's like who's going to be able to handle it for you. I even have programs that once you know what's out there that you can set up, that have everything set up for me, that if something happened to me, okay, someone can knock at the door, make a call, and say, this is what your father said he wants to happen, and this is what he's left for you to do. So that trust factor is we want it to be there, but we want to see that they're mature enough to handle that. You know, so
Right.
that's one of the things we're working on.
So as far as trust, looking at an actual trust, are you
Hmm.
connected to that, like maybe with lawyers to be able to put that together for people?
Yes, put all that together. In financial services, I have a pretty much, I'm so non-captive in dealing even with insurance, various products, which is the biggest thing that you can be doing for yourself right now. If you don't have any insurance, shame on you. Okay, and we all, as much as all the people like the basketball player Kobe, and they know he was a billionaire. One of the companies we work with had to write his wife a check out for over $30 million. So you wouldn't think that he had such a large insurance policy on himself, but it's that protection that you need to have, and make sure you have it, because once you have it, you don't have that additional worry about what happens next.
Right, because I mean I've heard it in the past that you can't afford to die, and so the thing is
Mhm.
that I mean you can
Mhm.
leave here, but your
Mhm.
family will be left behind, picking up the pieces.
Mhm.
So and Kobe was very young
Mhm.
when he did depart from this earth, and so the thing is many people don't expect to go, whether it's young or whether it's older. I mean I've known some people have passed like in their 90s and be like, oh, it's too soon. It's like, okay, but
Mhm. Right.
it's no good time for anybody to ever let go of
Mhm.
someone. So what what would you say to someone just come into your office and say maybe they're in their 30s and say,
Mhm.
okay, now, Mr. Haynes, I need to know, what do I need to do? How?
Well, first, what I would do is, assess their needs. So we'd have to sit down and do a financial needs analysis, because I think a lot of people, what they do, they say they have what they really don't have, or not educated or know enough to know what they do have is not enough, or maybe not the right vehicles. So you have to sit with a professional in order to assess what you really have and what you need. You
Okay.
see, just particular in one sense that you need to make sure you have enough to cover the house you stay in if something happened to you. The income that you have to replace that, if you're no longer there and you still have kids to grow, the debts that you may have unless you're debt free and stuff, and these various things and goals that you may have in mind and legacy. See, so you have to prepare for it right now, and you have to use the vehicles that are available to you. So once I can assess what you're doing and what you have, then I can lay out a plan for you so you won't have to worry and have the same resources all the wealthy people have. That's part of my mission. Make sure you have everything the wealthy people have.
Okay. So what actually inspired you to actually start this mission and doing this? I mean, did you see a lot of people just falling in between the crack and suffering and struggling?
Yes, and I think what was painful to me when I started this, I had that mission, and sometimes things get to you real, and I think one of my a client happened to be my sister, and the biggest thing in the I can't really. I'm trying to get the feeling, but it's like if you're in business and you're taking care of people, and sometimes people think, well, you just you just look at me as a client or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a real person.
Right.
So my sister as my client, and I had a large insurance policy on her. So for me, she got killed. For me to have to present to my nieces, it's not like I'm just going to anybody's regular house, a check for their mother. Okay, it's like it's not the large amount to make sure the value of her life is that how a person can really feel that it's like this is my sister. This is real. We're going to need to have that. And assessing, when she came to me and we had everything laid out, she was okay. Okay, financially she left her kids right.
Mm-hmm.
Trust factor, but we had to get the mindset in. On the other hand, I had other family members that were not prepared. Okay, and they did not listen. They say that, oh, it's okay, I got it, don't worry about it. Okay, and some people say, oh, what's that, insurance? And I mean, well, hey, the whole world, our government is insured, your money is insured, your
Right.
car is insured, your phone is insured, everything you say. What is about insurance? Basically, you're saying you need protection for something that may happen to be a loss or an event. That's what it's saying. But right now we give them the vehicle, so it just drew so much realness to me.
Yeah.
When I won't use I have to use the word related to because it hit home, but that I've been on that mission harder. It's like, hey, you guys need to do that because you never know when. She was what, 50 at that time. So every day not guaranteed. So you take whatever day you have and do the best that you can with that day because it's not guaranteed. But how are you going to leave your loved ones in the event? That's the mission, making sure that happens right.
Yeah, that makes me really think about how different people can compartmentalize different things and just say, okay, I understand why we need car insurance because we might be in a car accident, and just like you mentioned, telephones. I have insurance on my cell phone, my kids' cell phones, because if anything should happen to the phone, we want it to be able to be replaced, and so I don't understand why we don't put a higher value on our lives.
Bam!
In our family lives, so that if anything, and see, one of the sure things in life
Uh-huh.
is that we're going to die.
That's right.
We can
That's
try
right.
to ignore it
No matter what you
and
think.
try to just, resist it.
Not a Disney
But
movie.
at some point in life,
Sometime.
it's going to end. We have an expiration date. We don't know
Right.
what that will be,
Mm-hmm.
but it is. And so it's timely even for me to think about. I mean, because I have some life insurance. Probably don't have enough,
Mhm.
but at the time I got it, it
Mhm.
was enough. But
Mhm.
life has gone on. My kids have grown up. I've incurred
Mhm.
more student loan stuff from my kids. Parent plus
Mhm.
loans are more expensive than student loans,
Mhm.
and so yeah, it causes me to think and really try to reevaluate what we need to do. So people who are watching this, they can call me to ask me how to get in touch with you, and I can do that. But how would we get in touch with you in the first place, or to be able to?
It's James Haynes, my name, and you can email me, and I can send you, and we can start the process from there at James Haynes, and it's FSP, Financial Service Provider, at Gmail. James Haynes, FSP. Send me an email. I can get back with you and explain to you and do a free. Normally, you would have to go to a big time broker's fee to get your financial situation assessed. They probably charge you $2,000, and then they probably want to make sure you got at least 6 digits or more in your checking account before you even call. So this is something that we can do for you complimentary. But you made the point, you saw me get my hands out like that. Most people don't realize what value you're going to put on your life. It's beyond that. You have to value your life, and you have to make sure it's covered. And most people think like, well, they like to get paid by insurance company, but they don't want to pay an insurance company. And you may have to figure it out. The most outstanding and solvent business entities in America are the insurance companies. Their checks are always good. But so now our concept is it's just life insurance.
Right.
No. It's way beyond that. It's living insurance. See, some people have a lot of old life insurance. But just like you have a new model car, they always have new model products.
Okay.
So you have insurance products that can take care of you while you're living.
Okay. So what type of products are those?
Those are ones that would have living benefits.
Okay.
You see, so if people, if you have an old policy, the newer policy with living benefits. So if you get sick or you get a stroke, you can access that money right now. A chronic illness, you can access that money right now. So we need to sit down and see what you have. Do you have the old stuff or do you need the new stuff? So you can protect your health, you can protect your family, and you can protect your money. So those are things that financial literacy, you need to be on top of it. You have to have game. I'm trying to get, young, like, young, this is the millennials. Okay, well, I was going to do that, but yes, make sure you are fully protected.
Okay, now at the same time, when especially talking to the younger people, because I know from when I first bought mine, I was in my 20s. So insurance and the push was that it's cheaper when you're younger and you're healthy. Because, I mean, I got more health issues now in my life than just from time.
Right.
Than in my 20s, I was funky and nothing.
Right.
So.
And you can never know the next day what happened is a turn of events. You see, so it's best to do it now, while you're healthy, and then we have special things that you can set up for your children or your grandchildren, so it's you have the resources. We just need to make sure that they're available. And you can be met at your needs. Okay, I can deal with anyone that has a small amount to a very, very large amount, So it just depends on where you at to make sure you get properly covered. And then you need to make sure you're getting updated on what you have.
Okay.
You have a lot of like my parents, like they're in their 90s, so Yeah, so my mother said, "Oh yeah, well, my policies came in, Junior." So it was just like the little Monopoly game, where you see a little man, "Oh, your insurance mature." What's a lot of them have these smaller little policies that mature because they paid for them, and then there's a lot of policies that you were very good to start it like that. So now you can take that and put it into a better vehicle. Just like exchanging property, you
Okay.
can exchange it into a better vehicle
If you're
because
an
you can.
upgrade, I need
That's
to
right, an
upgrade.
upgrade, and you can use like the wealthy. Use this, when you look at people like Walt Disney, when he was trying to put together Disneyland, with Disneyland, he used some of his insurance money to put together Disneyland. And the key thing that we think about, oh, well, we don't need insurance. Look at most of the major banks. Where are banks putting their money in? Insurance companies. Okay? You
But
know?
they're insured. You're not gonna just go put all your money in Pookie Corner Store.
That's right.
You're gonna actually find a bank that's covered, have the FDIC on the window before you actually
You
make
know
a
that I
deposit.
always stands for insurance.
Ah,
Okay?
you want to make sure when you go and you want to withdraw that they have your
Right.
money
Right,
to
because
give you.
absolutely they have to, insurance company will have to have, just an example, they'd have to have $1,000 for every $100 that they issue out. Whereas you see a bank will have $100, and then they will loan out $1,000 because they were counting on depositors to come in. Oh, I'm going to pay you 0.25%, but I'm going to loan it out for 18% to 20%, whatever I can. You see, so that's their methods and what they're doing. But you can start your own bank. But give me a contact, James Haynes. She'll put down,
I
you'll
will.
edit
I'll have
that
it.
down,
I'll have it on
you
the screen
know.
for you.
Give me a call, and we'll put something together for you so you can protect your family and be ready for these times where you have so much uncertainty and people just figuring out what next to do. And when you look at that key point that you just said about health, just think about it next year because 2020 now is a big vision.
Right.
Okay, we get to see everything clearly, and even insurance and whatever you have, they're going to check out. Well, when was the last time where you checked? So things will change. So be prepared. Jump on it now. You know, get on the playing field right now. Don't wait later. It's now.
Yeah, I was just thinking of something kind of morbid though. I'm like pre-existing conditions. I'm like, you don't want to have gotten positive COVID-19. Like, I'm sorry, that's a pre-existing condition.
Right.
So you want to get checked out soon. But before we end, I was just thinking about what about that person who says, I don't really have anything. I don't own anything, and maybe I'm an adult and I'm living with my parents. Why in the world should I get, any kind of coverage for me?
Well, because you need to use it as a vehicle. Like I mentioned, how someone like a Walt Disney and other affluent business people, that can be your own bank. You can save money in that. So I get that question a lot on some people that's really pretty much my age, and they're in their late 60s or 70s. Well, I don't even have nieces or nephews. It's just me. Well, let's make sure that you're properly set up. So there are ways in which we can have everything for you in alignment, but definitely you can use it in ways that you don't even imagine. It's kind of like, you have a Ferrari and you're driving 15 miles an hour. So what you gonna do? Pedal to the metal?
What's the point? Just, I guess, it look cute, but so yeah. So we have to take advantage of what we have.
Keyword.
And so, like even the younger person, I would say now, you may be living at home with your mom or your dad, or don't have a lot, but to start early, planning for future,
That's right.
planning for your life going in the future, so that when you do have those kids or have that spouse, so
You'll be ready.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Hey, email me. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm on this mission. Let's do it. You know, we are in this together. All right. And I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share about financial literacy. And I really do appreciate that. And thank you so much. And you just asked some real good questions. Okay. All right.
Thank you. I want to just make sure. So, where are you actually located?
Uh, right now, we're pretty much doing everything to Zoom, but our
Okay.
offices, our physical office is in San Jose.
Okay.
You know, so I can send all that information. The website, I can show you all the stuff with my proper bow tie on. I can get you all that. We do have physical offices all around.
I just want to make sure that you're not limited to just one geographic location.
No, no. I'm actually, have business partners all over in Texas and North Carolina.
Okay.
So I'm non-captive, so I work all over the country.
Okay.
In Puerto Rico and Hawaii also.
So, is ever watching this, you can actually get in touch with him to help you get started. And if you need someone that's more locally, then he can help point you in that direction. So again, thank you, Mr. Haynes, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Again, thank you to Mr. James Haynes for joining us today and sharing how his voice is impacting and making a tremendous difference within our community for financial literacy. So if you've enjoyed the show today, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. If you'd like more information about how to get in touch with Mr. Haynes, go ahead and see the information on the screen below. Thank you again for joining us today, and remember, until next time, your voice matters. If you have something positive to share and you would like your voice to be highlighted on Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, please contact me at YVMWithNancy@gmail.com. And if you've enjoyed this programming, please hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you.